You know, if I was in a band, I wouldn't want to be the pretty boy singer. I'd rather be the cool guitar dude in the spectacles. Ladies and gentlemen, Graham Coxon. So, Graham, before we go any further, can we start straight away with saying that you've got a new single out?
Yeah,
because why hang around? There it is. It's what they call a double A side, isn't it, I've heard?
Yeah, it's very old-fashioned, isn't it?
It is, because you don't really have sides anymore.
No. But there is a 7-inch as well.
Yes.
You see, I'm quite traditional in a way.
Yeah. It's very difficult for a chat show host to say this, because we're used to kind of... I think arse-licking is the phrase. But I can honestly say that that is a brilliant single.
Oh, thank you very much.
It is, no, really. And the album... I'm going to get it all out of the way at the front. The album, there it is, Happiness in Magazines, also top-notch. So, for a man who walked out on a kind of a super group, it's going all right.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy. I feel very fortunate that at some point I made some decisions that were right.
But you must miss your old mate, because you were mates, weren't you, at one point?
Thing is, I think, you know, yeah, you do start out as mates, and you do seem to have a goal, and really the very nature of the whole music industry kind of morphs you into really like a business partnership rather than mates, and you sort of have to do it to survive.
The nice thing about Blur was that you met Damon at school, and then you met the other guys at art school, like a proper band, and you lived in a squat, and the things that real bands used to do in the good old days.
Yeah, it was lovely, you know, being thrown out of a squat in New Cross when I was 19.
Yeah,
onto the street with carry a bag of my clothes.
But you must have had an awareness one day this will be a cool story.
Well, we never lost the idea that something would happen if we kept at it and believed in it.
In fact, you had. I think that to me, Blur's greatest ever achievement. It wasn't the records, it was the fact that you were actually a comic strip in one of the Sunday magazines. Did you used to read this?
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah. How brilliant was that?
Have you seen that, the drawing there?
Well, let's have a look. There's one of Blur, relaxing. Look there. Is that how you relax, all on the same sofa? And
Damon doing that,
What is Damon doing there?
Because he's that kind of...
Yes.
Guy, he's a sort of the alpha male, you know.
Yeah, that's you in the red and yellow top, isn't it? You recognise yourself, obviously, just tucked away there thinking, you know, I might leave. Because the genitals are a bit up front in this band and I'm not keen about it. There's a kind of a bonding moment in the comic strip, which I found fascinating. This is, apparently, the comic strip suggests this is something that you kind of did pre-gig. And...
part of the Blur folklore, you see. Yes.
So it didn't happen?
No. Well, I think we were naked at one point altogether, but it was because we were doing a sort of a thing where you can make a sauna, but you do it in the bathroom and you block up all the gaps in the door with towels and you turn all the hot taps on and it sort of gets quite hot.
Yeah.
But we had been drinking. And it was in Los Angeles, so, you know, you have to do this sort of thing.
Yeah, where there's actually quite a lot of saunas already made.
Yeah. It was I'm sure it was at the Hyatt on Sunset Strip, which is very famous for Led Zeppelin doing similar sorts of stuff. Actually, worse kinds of stuff than that.
The television through the window.
Yeah, and motorbikes up the corridors and all sorts of things.
You don't want the television through the window when you're trying to keep the steam in.
No, you don't.
That would have been, you'd have froze to death.
It's always worried me, actually, the television out of the window thing.
Why?
Because of it landing on, hitting someone.
Yeah, I think that's the essential rock and roll recklessness you didn't quite go with. Because Led
Yeah.
Zeppelin wouldn't be thinking, oh, let's just check. It's gone. But you're a
Yeah.
caring person.
I was just internally reckless, really.
Yeah.
Didn't want to harm anybody, you know.
No. Would it be fair to say, Graham, that you are a sort of a guitar hero?
Well, I don't know. To some, I might be.
I think it's kind of a boys' thing, that they tend to attract a certain spoddy type, really, who go and study the guitar player. I mean, do you get the guys who are sitting there watching your technique?
I do, and I've noticed the mobile phone thing more these
Oh,
days with these photos.
Yeah.
You know, I'm playing, and then most people have got their phones to their eyes, taking pictures of what I'm doing with hits, you know. Boys.
So they...
I'm like, just watch the show, you know, they're watching it through this really bad quality.
Yeah. Well, the other thing at gigs is when people phone their mate and say, listen to this,
Yeah.
and hold the phone up.
I did get very annoyed because my mic stand is like that, and right the way down my line of vision, in a bit I was singing a song called Bitter Tears, which is very quiet at the beginning, and this boy in the front row was having a conversation. And I was like pointing at him to like do this in the middle of trying to sing this song. It was very annoying for me. And after we'd finished the song, he said, I'm really sorry, it was me mum.
Now, I have to ask you, there was a thing in the papers this week that said that you have had a bit of a secret meeting with the boys from Blur, and it's all back on. It was an emotional occasion, it says. And that they've decided that you can carry on doing your solo stuff, but you're coming back, and Blur, in its original form, all systems go. Is
Yeah.
it true?
No, it's not. It wasn't a secret meeting. It was not a secret meeting at all, you know, we didn't put false beards on. To us, we were just meeting up, you know. But just because we didn't tell anybody doesn't mean it's secret. You know, we do have contact with each other.
Was it the first time that all four of you have met since you left?
Yeah.
So it must have been, to be serious, it must have been a moment.
It was scary. It was really frightening. I mean, I was pretty nervous. There's three of them, you know, and there was one of me.
Yeah. So what was the purpose of the meeting then?
We met up to discuss you know, things really that we had to discuss that really are important to us, but maybe nobody else, and really tried to start to mend a little bit of our emotional relationship, really.
So you're sort of mates again?
I mean, yeah.
I
You
get-
know,
I'm
it was
saying
like
that,
me. It
Graham,
was like
'cause-
meeting three ex-wives, you know.
Yeah.
It was like that. I mean, I haven't got three ex-wives, but I can imagine that's what it's like.
Yeah.
You know, so they're still like three ex-wives that I've had a meeting with, and it went okay.
But they'd have you back, wouldn't they?
I don't know. I don't know. They've always said that the door is open, yeah.
And what's the chances of you going through it? Out of 100.
I don't go through doors. I skip through fields. No, I don't know.
Well, look, whatever you decide to do about Blur or anything else, I hope you carry on making some sort of music, 'cause it's actually, you know, good, as we're
will.
going to find out shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, Graham Coxon. And now, to close the show, Graham Coxon with Freaking Out.
Nothing to say